welcome to another episode of the How to CEO show. Today I'm delighted to be with Rahul from the Brave browser. He's on the board. I met him at Duke while I was speaking at their crypto conference. And he was talking all about the Brave browser and the BAT token. And that was about a month ago. And I'm lucky that I did some research. I bought some BAT token. And now I'm delighted to be interviewing about it. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. Really, thanks, Murray. Really excited to be here. So yeah, I'm on the board of Brave, and another quick, I know you're an attorney. I'm an attorney. Do your own research, but this is not financial advice. But I tell you what, if it was, I love Brave and the BAT token. So thank you for buying some.
So tell us about Brave and the BAT token.
Sure. So my main gig, so I have a couple of different hats I wear. I'm also kind of the chairman of ZebPay. ZebPay is kind of the Coinbase of India. We're a big fiat on-ramp exchange into India. I do that. I'm also the chief investment officer for Aon Capital, which is our family office. And I'm on the board of Brave. So I'm a huge fan of Brave. I've been using it for many, many years now. Brave really is probably the most widely used blockchain app in the world. It has more than 60 million monthly active users. And these users really, the main reason why they're using the product is as a privacy browser, right? They're using the browser as a way to block ads and to make sure that these large big tech companies who are into surveillance capitalism, things like Google and Facebook, let's say, stop tracking you. And what Brave has done is it really offers the product for free, but it has an option where if you want to, you can turn on a Brave reward system. Think of it as like an airline miles for browsing the web. And about, let's say, 25% of the customers have actually turned it on, and which is more than 10 or 15 million people. And they get paid tiny amounts of cryptocurrency whenever they browse. So the more you browse, the more you earn. And it's kind of like a browse to earn idea. But you don't earn dollars or rupees or yen. You earn basic attention token, BAT. And the average user can earn more than $100 a year just browsing the web. So,
why do you think this has been so successful and taken off so fast?
Yeah, sure. A large part of, let's say, when someone gets really sucked into a ecosystem, for example, Google or the Google Play ecosystem or the iOS ecosystem, it's very hard to switch. So, if you use Apple, most likely you're probably using Safari as your default browser. And only recently did they have an option of not making Safari. And the reason why I think it's working, why I love it, is that it's a better product. If you go look on the App Store, you're going to see it's a top 10 app. And in the end, the product market fit is what matters. I know you're like a marketing guy, right? And so if the product does not work well with the market, then it doesn't even matter if you have a token or not, right? It's not going to work. The way the token adds value is that you can add in referral and bonus mechanisms. They've turned it off now, but in the past, you would actually get tokens if you referred more users to join the browser. So it's growing, I'd say, purely through organic word of mouth type referrals. And people just love the product. So over time, as the world moves from Web 2 to Web 3, this idea of the Web 3 ethos is that users and community help govern the actual ecosystem. So for right now, if you're using Gmail or Google Search, you really have no real say on how those products are improved. You can kind of email them, but you can't really do much. The way I see things like Brave and other Web3 products working is if you have a token, let's say you have 10 tokens, I have 100 tokens, we could vote, hey, listen, we want to add in support for Hindi, right? And imagine we have people all over, voting on which language should Brave allow for search support for languages. And if enough people vote for Hindi, they would actually then adopt it, right? And because they can see the community, they can actually measure this. There are community tokens who want to add this product or feature. They can add it in. So it's a much better, unique way of kind of connecting the equity value into the community value and the ecosystem.
Does that have the potential to become, though, like a self-defining group? You get Hindi on board, you get more Hindi speakers, and therefore it can potentially go down a rabbit hole. And how do you stop that?
Yeah, so you'll have, say, positive virtuous cycles. What the best partner or the best ecosystem that's had this work is probably Binance. But with Binance, which is the world's biggest Bitcoin exchange, they have a token called BNB, and they've used the BNB token to help bootstrap their own ecosystem. So by BNB has a limited supply, just like Bitcoin. As more and more people join the Binance ecosystem, right, the price of the BNB token goes up. And the thing is, if you want to buy the BNB token, you have to buy it on Binance, right? So it's kind of they made the demand for the token really high, and then you have to download. So in the same way as BAT and Brave are connected, let's say if you speak Hindi, like, oh, I want to, and maybe the Hindi word for BAT is something else. I don't know what it is, but let's say some Hindi user sees, oh man, I'm downloading this browser, I want the token. He'll tell someone, and they'll say, listen, you can actually buy the token, right? You can come to ZPay. And ZPay has, hundreds of thousands of people that own Brave, the BAT token. And the second thing that's really important is that it's not all owned by one company. For example, Google wins when Google owns the entire ecosystem, right? Really, with these open protocol type designs, is that they're anti-fragile. I mean, they're stronger when there's more and more people that are part of the community. That's really what's amazing. So I think open source and the idea of companies being, not really copyrighting their code, and community are really the two big things for Web3. It's community, and you can actually have open source innovation instead of closed source innovation.
And so what do you see as the next stage for this? Obviously right now it's with a web browser. How's that moving into Metaverse? What's the expanded scale of this?
Sure. So the company is now about, let's say, 5 years old. The reason started as a browser. Just this past year and a half, they launched a search engine. So now I forget the exact amount, but the company does, over 10 million searches a day, right? So one of those poppers, really one of the few global brands which has a browser and search engine connected into one app. So search is gonna be really, really big. And in a sense, is right now it's a browse to earn model, but soon it'll be a search to earn model. So the more you search, the more you're gonna get paid. So if you come search for Bitcoin, advertisers will try to bid on those ads of being a top result for Bitcoin. But the cool thing is, the old model would be Google would get paid that money. Now you get paid 70% of that money. And then the third thing we've done is we've added a wallet this year, which is like MetaMask. And people who know what MetaMask is, it's basically a Web 3.0 wallet. The idea is that you can integrate, let's say, tokens and value into the browser. And that's doing really, really well. A lot of cool stuff happening with the wallet. And then the last part on the Metaverse stuff is that's the thing happens is that if you buy these really cool images or videos or music, you'll want to display them. And I think the browser is the natural extension of that. So you'll be able to, say, download an image, make it your background image, and then you can say that you can show someone that it's actually yours. The other thing you can do is, let's say I see some great artwork behind you. Say I want to buy some of that artwork, right? Is I could make that my let's say background image, and every time I use it, like, because the BAT token is there, you'd get paid micro BAT, right? Imagine that I made one of those my background images, and you're getting paid, one BAT per year for every person that uses it, right? You have 10,000 people using it, you're making 10,000 BAT, and it's a great way to put licensing into your let's say as an artist.
So really building out new economies and new ways of building things out. That's great. And then what do you see as some really exciting evolutions that's happening in the Web3 space?
Yeah. So the big thing, obviously, you're seeing are, let's say, NFTs with artwork. But I think the next big thing is not just artwork, but say videos and music. And so if you look at something like YouTube, right now, when you make a video on YouTube and you upload it, you don't get any of the real income off it. You have to go through the YouTube, let's say, gate. They make a rake or a transaction fee. In the future, let's say this interview would be an NFT, and maybe, for example, right now, when you interview someone, let's say you interview someone like Elon Musk and who's kind of famous, is theoretically that interview go on your channel. But instead, imagine if Elon said, "Listen, I want 50% of my interview to go to the Musk Foundation," right? And it'd be like, "Listen, I don't want the money, but because you're monetizing some of my interview. There's a way that you have his Ether address and your Ether address built into the interview. So every time you get views, 50% of the money goes to him, and he might negotiate. I want 60% or I want 20%, right? And so kind of like if you're Charlie Rose, you might be able to get a higher rate. than if you're someone who's brand new. And this is really cool. It's built in the smart contracts, and you don't even know it by using it, but you're just watching the video in the browser. And the reason why Bat's amazing, Bat's a native token inside the browser. All the stuff would happen in the back end. So I guess the answer to your question, where the future goes, is that you're gonna have much better user interface, user design, and that's what I see really happening.
Yeah, and I mean, I see Web3. One of the main challenges is that the user interface, having to connect the wallet, like it can be hard work for new users. But I see that developing.
Can I show you? I'm going to show you the browser and how it works, and I'll do a quick screen share. Yeah. So a lot of people are wondering, like, the best thing is, instead of is do a show and tell, right? So here's the browser. Can you see my screen, Murray?
Yes.
So what ends up happening is when you open up a new tab, see these are images, and this could be an NFT. Imagine this is your image, and if I click on this, I could then go to your homepage and I could tip you. And this is what this token right here, this little image right here is like the token where you get paid in. But every third image is the second. You'll see third. This is an ad right here. This is an ad for some Bitcoin DeFi system. And because I clicked on this, you don't have to click on it, but because I've seen this ad, I get paid a tiny bit of money. And so, but back on your question, like these type of ecosystem, these little ads here, this Nexo ad, this is the future, because in the old way of doing stuff, Google and Facebook would keep all these profits, but this new way is shared among the users. And so it really is a much, much better business model.
So presumably that could also be used to fund artist projects. For instance, if you were a famous artist, you wanted to create a new video or something, your fan base could pre-agree to that, and then as it's shared, and the more it's shared, the more successful it is. The bigger the artist, the more the fan base. No, I love that. If people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter. Google Zebpay, Zebpay. You'll see me there. My name's Rahul Pagidipati. And I'm also, you tweet at Zebpay and you can get in touch with me. But Twitter's probably the best way.
And how can people help you?
Sure. I'm super passionate about Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's the other thing I do is I've been buying crypto every single day for 1,000 days, right? Like I really lean in hard into this. Brave is an open source, project, right? And so what I would say is hop on a GitHub and learn more about it, right? The BAT token is amazing. I think it's going to be one of the best tokens in the world to own. We're really trying to build a rewards ecosystem around it. And if you have ideas on how to make Brave better or make Zebpay better, please, contact me on Twitter, and would love to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks, Murray. I really appreciate it.
I'm Murray Newlands. You've been listening to the How to CEO show. I'll see you next time.